You're watching WHSV News 3. 11 minutes of nonstop news and weather starts right now.
Your real estate tax bill is going up. Good evening, everyone. I'm Deon Guillory.
And I'm Allison Bruner. That's breaking news from the Augusta County Board of Supervisors meeting. Just 90 minutes ago, the board voted for that increase.
It was a very close vote, 4-3. WHSV's David Coy is just back from that meeting with the breaking details. David.
Deon, supervisors held a public comment session for the meeting at the beginning of the meeting, and that comment session lasted more than 2 hours. People say, raise my taxes.
Why would the school board think that to cut the benefits of some employees to give a raise to others is fair?
Many people, including students, voicing their opinion on the proposed real estate tax increase.
Our school has this thing called laptops, and they're jokes, because we're missing 2 keys out of this.
Many students agreed that the raise would improve their schools and technology. Jessie Stemple hasn't always lived in Augusta County. She says when she saw kids excited for a new projector, her old school wouldn't have thought it was a big deal.
I think that Augusta County is so far behind that it's really going to hurt the students in the long run, and I just want to make sure that my little brother has the same opportunities that I had when I was younger.
People wanting to speak were lining up, waiting for their turn. Kenneth Cunningham is one against the increase.
When is enough enough? You're creating a slave class and a privileged class.
Would beg that we would look at this in a little bit more of a business sense. What are we doing with our money? What's the return on our investment?
Both sides were very vocal on the issue and made sure their opinion was heard.
Tonight, anything that you decide, we will put it to good use.
The final 4-3 vote was in favor of the increase. The raise will be 3 cents instead of the 5 cents. 2/3 of the money will go toward the school board, while the 1/3 will go towards the county. Allison.
Thank you, David. New details tonight on a tax hike in Shenandoah County. That's for real estate and personal property taxes. Some neighbors don't understand why the county needs extra money, though. Real estate taxes will increase from 51 to 54 cents per $100 on a home's assessed value. Personal property taxes will go up 35 cents. The money will help pay for buildings and security upgrades at schools. Health insurance for school employees will also be covered, and public safety employees.
And raised 3 girls and then went through school, and I don't know why they need so much money now.
Our kids are the future of our country, and if we're not doing right by them, then shame on us.
County Supervisor Steve Baker says the hike, it's necessary due to federal and state cuts.
New at 11, one of 2 teens accused of raping a woman in Harrisonburg will have a hearing tomorrow. Police say the 2 teens raped the woman in her apartment by knife point. Officers also explain the teen stole from the woman too. A mental health expert is expected to determine if one of the suspects was sane during the crime. Right now, the medical examiner in Richmond is working to ID a second body found where 2 college students went missing. This while police look for a 4th suspect wanted for hazing. The body is believed to be Jawan Holmes. He and Marvell Edmondson were swept away in the Appomattox River during initiation for a group not recognized by Virginia State University. Chesterfield police have charged Corey Baytop, Eric Benson, and James Mackey with hazing. You see their pictures on your screen. The cops are still looking for Charles Zelikofer II.
New details tonight in the Boston bombings. Investigators say the surviving suspect was unarmed when police arrested him in a boat last Friday. Now that contradicts the Boston police, who say they exchanged gunfire with that suspect. Marcy Gonzalez is in Boston with what's happening right now.
We are grieving, but we are not bending. We will not yield to fear.
A vow of resilience from the vice president as thousands honored the life of MIT officer Sean Collier today at this memorial service. A message echoed along each block of Boylston Street, more than a week after the marathon bombings that claimed 3 lives and wounded more than 250. The scene of the attack is open and thriving once again.
It shows the unique and fierce spirit of this community and how together this has done exactly the opposite of what people might think.
And today we're getting a new look at the suspects. Jahar and Tamerlan Tsarnaev photographed in a fierce gun battle with Watertown police Thursday night. And here, Tamerlan is shown in his 2009 booking photo after being charged with domestic abuse. Today, his body remains at the medical examiner's office, still unclaimed by next of kin, as investigators continue interrogating his brother Jahar, the 19-year-old maintaining that they plotted the attacks on their own and possibly hinting of their plans to leave Boston sometime after the bombings to head to New York City.
I'm telling you, the bit of information that we have that it may have been words to the effect of coming to party in New York.
According to a U.S. intelligence official, the older brother Tamerlan was nominated by the CIA to be put on a government watch list a year and a half ago. Marcy Gonzalez, ABC News, Boston.
And this just in, Russian media is reporting the suspect's parents plan to come to America. Big changes are coming to the Kentucky Derby Festival and Marathon in the wake of the Boston Marathon bombings. This is now an increased list of banned items. They include backpacks, duffel bags, large purses, coolers, noisemakers, and certain cameras. Fans will have to undergo electronic wand searches and are encouraged to watch for unusual and suspicious behavior.
We're following up tonight on that massive explosion in Texas. Right now, President Obama and the First Lady are in Texas to attend a memorial service tomorrow for all 14 victims. And tonight, we are getting an up-close look at the damage. Take a look at these pictures. The blast left a nearly 100-foot wide and 10-foot deep crater where the plant once stood. Dozens of homes and buildings are destroyed. So far, investigators say only natural causes did not ignite the fire. And we are following up tonight with the city's efforts to name a street after civil rights leader Martin Luther King Jr. here in Harrisonburg. Now, it's been talked about for a while. Some suggestions were changing Reservoir or Vine Street. People were upset that the name change would change addresses. Renaming bridges was also brought up. Former city manager Roger Baker says, why not name a piece of I-81 after MLK?
That highway would become associated with Harrisonburg, so people all over the United States, after they travel this way a few times, would, they'd remember Harrisonburg, just if nothing else for the name of the highways.
Now, this change would not affect any addresses or I-81's name. If the city of Harrisonburg decides to rename a part of the interstate, it would have to contact VDOT and submit a proposal.
Keeping you and your family safe with 4 radar sweeps. When severe weather strikes, you'll want the power of 4 First Alert Doppler radars.
Any threat of rain tonight has pretty much moved east of the Blue Ridge at this time. Still have some clouds for cover out there. See that line of showers and not much shower activity at all. I call it partly cloudy because there are some areas where you're just looking at a beautiful moon and some stars up there. But we'll have those clouds, well, they'll be decreasing overnight because we're looking for a fairly sunny day tomorrow. Take a look at the water vapor and you can see where all the moisture is moving out off the coast. The darker area here, that is an upper level dryness, and then where you see the brown areas in the Commonwealth, well, that the surface area is also pretty dry out there at this time. So most of the activity has all moved to the east. We did have about 1/10 of an inch in Churchville and 1/2 inch in Burton. That was the big number today, and many of us got 200s as we did here at the station, 300s in Timberville. Not much precipitation at all. Currently, it is 59 outside the studios. This number will be dropping fairly quickly now, I do believe, because the winds have also shifted. Partly cloudy, northwest winds about 11. They've been running west-southwest, then west, then now northwest, and that's going to be cooler, so we'll see that number coming down. Temperatures around the area is called in by the weather watchers. 61 Timberville, 63 Stanton, 60 in Waynesboro, and then a fair number of 50s and 55 in Burton. I'm sure the rainfall there helped lower some of those temperatures a little earlier tonight. Lucy said 57, Sparkling Springs 58 down Churchville Way and Stanley at 64. Jack said 56 was the cool side up in Woodstock. So we look at midnight and the forecast map, and we see that frontal system out by the coast. We see where the shower activity is well to the east of us, still picking up an influence now from the north. north. The real influence is going to be high pressure. That'll be moving into the area tomorrow, bringing plenty of sunshine, and it's going to help keep the temperatures down just a little bit as that cooler air from the north filters into our own area until high pressure makes it to the coast and we get a return flow. So it's going to hold it down for a couple of days. We have a secondary frontal system trying to move into the area and another high pressure system behind that. This is not a very strong front system. We'll see the temperatures holding down a little bit and then warming for the weekend, and you'll all be very happy when that happens. Tonight, we're looking at mid-40s here in the valley to the east, 44 Luray, Elkton, Waynesboro to the west in the Highlands, into the upper 30, 37 Monterey, Franklin at 39, and 41 in Petersburg. Tomorrow, well, we start the day out with mid-40s, decreasing clouds at 7 o'clock in the morning. A little cool. I call it cool because it's just much lower than where it should be at this time. Southwest winds, northwest winds becoming southwest 5 to 10, mid-50s at noon, and then into the lower 60s for the day. So we look at the 7-day forecast, and it comes up like this, folks, with 62 on tap for tomorrow, 63 Friday, and 66 Saturday. Now we're starting to warm to about where we should be. Plenty of sunshine coming our way. And then the extended forecast, well, we're looking mid and upper 60s. Next week, we're talking about a couple of 70-degree temperatures. And we do have some showers on tap for Saturday night into Sunday, and then again on Tuesday. Not going to be a washout by any means. If you have plans to go outside, go out and enjoy it. Take an umbrella with you. We'll take any rain that's in the area anyway, but the temperatures are getting a little better.
Yeah, but this is the time of the year for this.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's called spring weather.
Yeah.
You're right.
And we love it.
A little chilly tonight, though.
Well, not too bad. I was out for a while, and, I thought it was very comfortable, but it's going to be chilly.
Warm weather.
It's coming, though. It's going to be chilly overnight. Yeah.
Well, a woman fights back against a purse snatcher and gets dragged in the process. Hear what she says the man told her seconds before putting her life at risk.
Plus, a man on the run accused of sexually assaulting a little girl is now in jail. You see him being taken away here. A closer look at the investigation and where the feds found him. And of course, you can always join the conversation. We would love to hear from you right there on your screen. Ways you can reach Allison and I on Facebook and Twitter.
New at 11, a fugitive wanted for the kidnapping and sexual assault of a young California girl is in custody tonight.
Yeah, and he was caught in Mexico. Larry Jacobs breaks down the case.
This is a great development in the quest for justice for this young girl and her family.
After nearly a month on the run and accused of sexually assaulting a 10-year-old girl, Tobias Summers is in the custody of U.S. officials. He was arrested in a small Mexican village where he had checked himself into a drug and alcohol treatment center using a fake name. A phone tip to the FBI led Mexican authorities to Summers.
We learned he fled to Mexico. We obtained an unlawful flight to avoid prosecution warrant, a federal warrant for his arrest, and began to look south of the border for him.
30-year-old Summers is accused of abducting a 10-year-old California girl at knife point from her Northridge home on March 27th. He allegedly took her to several locations and sexually assaulted her. She was found wandering several miles away from her home 12 hours after her parents discovered her missing from her bedroom.
Anybody in this city that thinks that they can commit that kind of crime and remain free after doing so, we can make sure that they know that that is not true. We'll hunt you. We'll find you. You cannot hide.
Mexican officials say they identified Summers from a Superman logo tattooed on his chest. Summers has been returned to the U.S. and faces 37 felony charges. Larry Jacobs, ABC News, New York.
Now to another story all new at 11. A trip to a grocery store turned into an all-out battle for an Ohio woman. A thief tried to grab her purse as she hung on for dear life, and it was all caught on camera. Take a look. The woman wearing red was in a grocery store parking lot last week when a man ran up beside her and grabbed her purse. You can see it all happening here. She refused to let go, even as the man got into a car and dragged her several feet. Here is how she described the terrifying incident to an emergency dispatcher.
I was getting in my car, I put my groceries in my passenger side, I went to get in the driver's side, and he ran up behind me, and I'm like, no, and he took me, he was like, give me your purse.
Witnesses saw what happened and ran to help her. The woman told police she was punched in the head several times. She was not seriously hurt.
We are checking in tonight on your health. In just a few days, you'll be able to safely get rid of those prescription drugs that may be expired. You can drop off those medications in bins at RMH. A pharmacist says throwing prescriptions in the trash or toilet may not be safe. The event is anonymous and it runs from 10 to 2 this Saturday. To look for a location near you, you can check our web channel. Just head to WHSV.com. Now to consumer alert. For only the 4th time in history, there will be a new $100 bill. This newly designed note includes a blue 3D security ribbon on the front of the bill that moves when the bill is tilted. Pretty neat. The bill is set to begin circulating on October 8th.
Are you going to give me a couple of those? President Obama could get tatted up. That's if his daughters get their way. It's actually a promise he and the First Lady made to their kids in hopes of keeping them away from tattoos. During an interview, the president said he told his girls if they ever got tattoos, he and his wife would do the same and show them off as a family on YouTube. He says he expects the threat will dissuade them from thinking that tattoos are a good way to rebel. A student gets an emotional surprise while trying to figure out a math problem in class. The homecoming that was caught on camera.
Plus, why these 3 kids are busting a move at a baseball game.
New at 11, a truck crashes into a toll booth in China, hurting the driver and a passenger. The truck cut a corner of stone, breaking off several police blockages, tearing down a toll booth, crushing another as well. That video is just amazing. Another toll booth also was damaged, but the staff member inside was safe.
Video is amazing.
Yeah.
Well, military dad turned a math lesson into a celebration.
And he pulled off a huge surprise for his young son. Take a look. Philip Patrick is stationed at a naval base and has been gone for nearly 8 months. And he snuck up on his young son Jackson at school, filling the boy with happy tears. Take a look at that as they hug each other. Patrick says his son's reaction is something he'll never forget.
He's had the hardest time of all of the kids for me being gone. And every time I talk to him, I could tell, you can just hear it in his voice. So that was really, really special for me to be able to surprise him and to see him like that.
A great story. Patrick is dad to 3 other kids, and the last time he saw his youngest child was 24 hours after his birth. And take a look at this latest dance craze for these 3 shirtless ball fans at the Braves-Rockies game last night. It was the only way to keep warm. See, look at it, snow.
Oh my word.
Yeah, snow had to be removed before the teams could take the field as the temperature dropped to 23 degrees. And while most of the fans were bundled tight, the chilly night air didn't stop the would-be dancers from busting a move and entertaining the crowd. And Darren, I really think that's something that you should pick up on. I can really see you.
I think I would be out there if it was that
going
cold.
to a game and just, doing a little.
I definitely would do it.
No one wants to see that. But my first notice, what I noticed, no parents in that shot, because they're the ones that have to pay for the doctor when they do get sick.
Right, because they're going to get sick. Yeah, they're probably sniffling now.
Maybe they just took their shirts off and were cold.
I think they wanted to get on TV. That's why they took their shirts off.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah, but